Picture this, a federal courtroom in Florida, tension thick as humidity in summer. The judge's face is stone-cold fury. Trump's lawyer stands at the podium, voice cracking, as he finally breaks, admitting on the record that they hid classified documents, moved boxes under cover of night, all to shield the former president from justice. The room erupts. The judge slams the gavel. Arrest him immediately. Bailiffs surge forward, handcuffs gleaming. Chaos explodes. Cameras flashing, gasps echoing, headlines screaming across every screen in America. Trump lawyer confesses in court, instant arrest shocks nation. Millions shared it. Outrage boiled over. Finally, people whispered, the walls are closing in. It felt like the end game, the dramatic reckoning we'd all been waiting for. The moment arrogance met accountability head on. But here's the truth that hit like a thunderclap. That explosive scene, the confession, the on-the-spot arrest, it never happened. Not one frame of it is real. Yet the story spread like wildfire because it's rooted in something raw and undeniable. A pattern of federal judges pushing back against what looked like untouchable power, forcing Trump's own lawyers to testify against him. Piercing that sacred attorney-client shield we'd always believed was unbreakable. And for a moment, it seemed like the system was finally fighting for us, for the immigrants who built this country, for the families chasing the American dream without fear, for every voice silenced by bigotry and corruption. But then, in a twist that left the nation reeling, everything flipped. The cases crumbled. The documents returned triumphantly to Mar-a-Lago aboard Air Force One. And now, the same man who hoarded secrets is wielding power to punish the very lawyers who dared stand against him. This isn't just a legal saga, it's a battle for the soul of America, where dignity clashes with vengeance, truth against retaliation. You felt that viral rush because deep down we all crave justice, the kind that validates our struggles, our pride in who we are and where we come from. But the real story, it's even more cinematic, more heartbreaking, more inspiring. Judges, calm and unwavering, became unlikely heroes, refusing to bow to pressure. Lawyers cracked under the weight. And when power struck back with executive orders revoking clearances, barring firms from courthouses, threatening to destroy careers, it sparked a firestorm that exposed the fragility of our democracy. Imagine the fear rippling through law offices. Partners whispering about deals to survive, some capitulating with millions enforced pro bono, others fighting in court and winning injunctions. Social media lit up, hashtags trending, memes of handcuffs turning into broken chains, voices from immigrant communities rising. This is why we fight, for a system that protects everyone, not just the powerful. That fake arrest video hooked us because it captured our hope for accountability. But the truth unfolding in 2025, judges blocking retaliatory orders, calling them unconstitutional chills on free speech. Firms like Perkins Coie, Wilmer Hale, Jenner and Block standing tall, prevailing in court after court. And special counsel Jack Smith's sealed report hanging like a shadow, proof of willful obstruction, powerful evidence that no one believed would stay hidden forever. This is our story too, the story of resilience against arrogance, of quiet courage from the bench holding the line. As the pressure mounted on Trump's team, lawyers quit, cooperated, distanced themselves. The shield cracked. But just when it seemed justice might prevail, the election changed everything. And that's where the real drama explodes. What happened next didn't just save one man. It unleashed a wave of retribution that tested the heart of our legal system. The nation held its breath, wondering, would the heroes prevail or would vengeance win? Feel that fire in your chest, the one that ignites when power thinks it can hide behind lies, and loyalty, when the mighty believe their secrets are untouchable. That sacred shield we all rely on, attorney-client privilege, the unbreakable bond that lets us whisper truths to our lawyers without fear, the foundation of justice for every immigrant who fought for a better life. Every family defending their dignity against bigotry. It was under siege like never before. In the heart of this battle stood the Mar-a-Lago classified documents probe, a story of arrogance clashing with accountability. Picture Evan Corcoran, Trump's trusted attorney, forced into a secret grand jury room in 2023, compelled to reveal private conversations with the former president himself. Normally, that's impossible. Privilege is the bedrock. Your lawyer can't be turned against you. But federal Judge Beryl Howell, calm and resolute, invoked the crime-fraud exception, when legal advice isn't protection but part of a crime. Prosecutors laid out the evidence. Trump taking hundreds of classified files, ignoring subpoenas, certifying falsely that everything was returned. Surveillance footage showed boxes shuffled to evade searches. Corcoran helped draft that certification, but the FBI raid uncovered over 100 more sensitive documents. Was he deceived or complicit? The judge saw enough prima facie proof of potential obstruction to shatter the shield. Corcoran testified, his words fueling the 40 felony indictment against Trump for willful retention and conspiracy to hide national secrets. This wasn't some minor breach. It was a seismic crack in the fortress around unchecked power. For us, the dreamers, the strivers, the voices rising from diverse roots, it felt like hope. Judges, these quiet guardians with lifetime tenure, refusing to flinch amid the storm of threats and smears. They stood for the rule of law that welcomes immigrants, protects identities, honors sacrifice over entitlement. But the villain here, that arrogance born of believing rules bend for the powerful, slow-walking justice, playing games with evidence, boasting immunity while aides moved boxes in the shadows. It rattled the nation, because if privilege falls for one, it warns us all. No one should wield secrets as weapons against democracy. And this piercing was just the opening salvo. As pressure mounted, more judges in New York, fraud trials fined violations, threatened contempt, called out delays as obstruction. Trump's team faced sanctions. Lawyers distanced themselves. The shield strained, cracks spreading. We watched, hearts pounding, as the system we'd built through generations of struggle began to hold the line. Yet in a breathtaking reversal that shook the core of justice, Trump's 2024 victory changed everything. Charges dropped under policy against prosecuting a sitting president. In February 2025, the seized boxes, personal items they claimed loaded onto Air Force One, returned triumphantly to Mar-a-Lago. Jack Smith's damning report on willful misconduct, sealed tighter than ever by Judge Cannon, released delayed into 2026 amid challenges. Power struck back fiercely. Executive orders targeting firms like Perkins Coie, Wilmer Hale, Jenner and Block for daring to oppose him. Clearances revoked, contracts cut, access barred, in retaliation for representing adversaries, challenging policies, upholding diversity. Some firms fought and won injunctions, judges decrying unconstitutional chills on speech. Others bent, agreeing to pro bono, aligned with the agenda to survive. The stakes soared higher than ever. Would vengeance silence the lawyers who defend our rights, our immigrants' dreams, our proud identities? Or would heroic judges, unflinching against retaliation, preserve the system that lifts us all? The nation leaned in, breath held, as Trump's lawyers cracked under past heat. A new wave of retribution tested the soul of justice itself. What unfolded next exposed the raw fight for America's heart. Feel the weight of that arrogance, the kind that hoards national secrets in gilded ballrooms, moves boxes under moonlight to dodge subpoenas, and boasts of absolute power while the world watches in disbelief. This is the story of an empire built on delay, defiance, and the dangerous belief that rules are for others, not for the man who once sat in the Oval Office. Go back to those fateful days after leaving the White House. Hundreds of classified documents, some marked top secret, detailing nuclear capabilities, defense vulnerabilities, carted off to Mar-a-Lago like trophies. Subpoenas arrived, polite requests turned firm. But instead of compliance, there was gamesmanship. Lawyers certified diligent searches complete, all materials returned. Yet surveillance cameras captured the truth. Aides shuffling boxes, hiding them from view, evading full scrutiny. This was an accident. It was a pattern of obstruction, willful retention that endangered the nation we all share. The America built by immigrants' hands, defended by diverse voices, protected for families chasing dreams without fear. Trump's team slow-walked justice at every turn, narrow interpretations of requests, claims of executive privilege stretched beyond reason, false assurances while more sensitive files lingered in desks and storage rooms. The villainy deepened with boasts of declassification by thought alone, claims of immunity absolute. While judges demanded accountability, the response was defiance, delays disguised as advocacy, evidence games that mocked the system safeguarding our democracy. In New York fraud trials, gag orders ignored, attacks on court staff online, fines mounting as contempt loomed. Across cases, the tactic repeated: push boundaries, force warnings, bet judges would blink. But this arrogance blinded them to the guardians watching. The principal judges, lifetime appointed, beholden to law alone. They saw through the charade, certifications contradicted by raids uncovering over 100 more marked documents, patterns screaming obstruction. Evan Corcoran's testimony, forced by crime fraud piercing, revealed conversations fueling indictments. Lawyers faced sanctions, threats of contempt, personal ruin for enabling what courts viewed as crimes. For us, the proud descendants of immigrants, the strivers upholding identity and dignity, this empire of defiance struck at our core. It threatened the fair system welcoming newcomers, protecting voices against bigotry, ensuring no one hoards power at democracy's expense. Outrage swelled as social media erupted, hashtags trending with stories of sacrifice, memes contrasting gilded excess with everyday struggles, communities uniting in validation. This isn't America, we demand better. Yet they thought invincibility eternal, that delays would outlast scrutiny, that power could rewrite rules. Lawyers enabled, cycling through teams as risks mounted, quitting, distancing, cracking under judicial heat. The shield strained, but arrogance persisted, boasting victory even as indictments loomed, 40 felonies for mishandling secrets, conspiracy to conceal. Then came the 2024 triumph, charges dropped under policy shielding sitting presidents. In February 2025, boxes loaded onto Air Force One returned triumphantly to Mar-a-Lago, personal items claimed, classified threats downplayed. Jack Smith's report on willful misconduct, sealed tight by Judge Cannon, release pushed to 2026 amid challenges, shadows lingering but public light dimmed. Emboldened, vengeance unleashed. Executive orders targeting firms like Perkins Coie, Wilmer Hale, Jenner, and Block. Clearances revoked, contracts cut, access barred for daring represent adversaries, challenge policies, uphold diversity. Some capitulated with pro bono deals. Others fought, winning injunctions calling retaliation unconstitutional chills on speech. This antagonist backstory, delay turning to defiance, arrogance breeding retribution, exposed fragility. They believed judges tolerant forever, that power could silence opposition. But heroic courts pushed back, blocking overreach, preserving independence. The empire teetered as lawyers cracked, shields fractured. But in this cinematic clash, the real heroes emerged unflinching. Judges refusing to bow, firms standing tall amid storms. What unfolded next wasn't collapse alone, but quiet courage rising to meet vengeance head-on, reminding us dignity endures. Stand in awe of these quiet warriors, the federal judges who stared down storms of threats, smears, and political fury, yet never wavered. Lifetime appointed, beholden to the Constitution alone, they became the unlikely heroes shielding our democracy's heart. The rule of law that welcomes immigrants with open arms celebrates proud identities forged through sacrifice and ensures justice for every family chasing the dream without fear of bigotry's shadow. Picture Judge Beryl Howell, calm and unflinching in her Washington courtroom. Aww. In 2023, she pierced the sacred veil of attorney-client privilege in the Mar-a-Lago probe, finding enough evidence of potential crime, fraud to compel Evan Corcoran to testify about his conversations with Trump. Her ruling held firm on appeals, a beacon that no one, not even a former president, could hide behind lawyers to obstruct justice. For communities who fought for fairness, her resolve felt like validation, the system protecting truth over power. Then came Judge Arthur Engoron in New York's civil fraud trial, facing relentless attacks on his staff gag order violations and delays. He fined Trump escalating amounts, warned of jail, tore into the tactics as games that mocked accountability. His patience wore thin, but his commitment never did, enforcing consequences amid chaos, standing tall for the principle that inflated lies can't steal from the honest strivers building America. Across courts, these guardians, appointed by presidents of both parties, refused to bow. Judge Eileen Cannon, Trump, appointed herself, dismissed the case in 2024 on appointment grounds, delayed Jack Smith's report release into 2026, giving space for challenges. Yet even as cases dropped after the 2024 victory, with boxes returned triumphantly to Mar-a-Lago aboard Air Force One in February 2025, personal items reclaimed, shadows lingering, the broader heroism shown in 2025's new battles. When executive orders rained down in March, targeting firms like Perkins Coie, Wilmer Hale, Jenner and Block for past representations of adversaries, suspending clearances, cutting contracts, barring access, judges rose fiercely. Judge Beryl Howell again led, permanently blocking the Perkins Coie order in May as an unprecedented attack on the legal system, retaliatory and unconstitutional. Judge John Bates struck down the Jenner and Block order, calling it disturbing, retaliation-chilling speech. Judge Richard Leon halted Wilmer Hale's, decrying constitutional harm. One after another, injunctions mounted, protecting the right to counsel, free advocacy, the independence that lets lawyers defend immigrants, challenge injustice, uphold diversity without vengeance's chill. Social media erupted in celebration. Hashtags trending with stories of heritage and resilience, memes of scales tipping toward justice, voices from proud communities declaring, "This is our America," where judges defend the dreamers. Analysts praised the smackdowns, commentators hailed the courage amid backlash. These heroes, Howell, Bates, Leon, others, embodied dignity. Calm against arrogance, principle over pressure. For us, their stand validates every struggle. The sacrifices of forebears arriving with nothing but hope, the pride and identities woven into this nation's fabric. They blocked overreach, preserved the system lifting voices silenced too long. Some firms capitulated with pro bono deals, but these judges ensured fighters prevailed, rulings holding that retaliation can't crush advocacy. In this cinematic saga, their quiet resolve cracked the empire's facade, not with drama but unwavering truth. Lawyers once strained under old heat now saw allies on the bench. Yet as retribution met resistance, a turning point loomed. Would vengeance reshape justice? Or would these heroes' light endure, proving dignity triumphs? The nation watched, hearts swelling with hope. As pressure shifted, the real clash ignited, testing if courage could hold the line forever. The air grew electric with tension, the kind that grips your soul when power's empire begins to fracture from within. As judicial heroes held the line, piercing privileges, issuing fines, threatening contempt, the pressure bore down mercilessly on Trump's legal guardians. Lawyers, once armored in loyalty and aggressive tactics, started cracking, one by one, under the unrelenting heat of accountability. Imagine the scene. Teams dissolving mid-battle, seasoned attorneys quitting en masse, whispering to colleagues that the personal risks, sanctions looming like storm clouds, licenses on the line, even jail threats for contempt, were no longer worth the fight. In the classified documents saga, Evan Corcoran's forced testimony in 2023 exposed private conversations, feeding the indictment's fire. Gag orders violated in New York trials escalated fines to hundreds of thousands. Judges warning of incarceration if defiance continued. Trump's orbit churned, new counsel hesitant, old ones distancing, strategies weakening as self-preservation kicked in. This wasn't abstract, it was visceral. Lawyers faced not just defending a client, but defending themselves against courts weary of delays disguised as zeal, evidence games that crossed into obstruction. For communities built on immigrant resilience, proud identities forged in struggle, this escalation felt like vindication, the system pushing back against arrogance that hoarded secrets, mocked subpoenas, believed rules bent for the elite. Social media buzzed with validation. Stories shared of grandparents arriving with dreams intact, hashtags celebrating judicial resolve, memes contrasting gilded defiance with everyday dignity. We felt it deeply, the satisfaction of watching an untouchable fortress strain, lawyers bailing because protecting power meant risking freedom. The villain rattled, Trump cycling through teams, disruptions mounting as new lawyers ramped up slowly, caution creeping in. We can't do that, they'd say more often. Ethical lines drawn sharper under judicial glare. The shield cracked wider. Cooperation quiet, resignations public, aggression tempered. Then, in a reversal that stunned the nation, Trump's 2024 victory dropped charges under policy shielding sitting presidents. By late February 2025, boxes, personal items now, classified threats removed, loaded onto Air Force One, returned triumphantly to Mar-a-Lago amid claims of vindication. But the heat shifted dramatically. Emboldened, executive orders targeted firms like Perkins Coie, Wilmer Hale, Jenner and Block, clearances suspended, contracts cut, access barred. For past representations, diversity efforts, challenges to power, retaliation pure, chilling advocacy that defends immigrants, upholds rights, fights bigotry. Some firms bent, cutting deals with pro bono aligned to agenda. Others fought fiercely, lawsuits flying. The walls closed in anew, not on old cases, but fresh battles testing justice's core. Lawyers cracked further, some capitulating, others standing tall amid storms. Outrage swelled in our hearts, the dreamers, the strivers, as vengeance threatened the independence-lifting diverse voices. Yet heroic judges stirred again, injunctions brewing. The escalation peaked. Would retribution silence defenders of dignity or ignite unbreakable resistance? The nation leaned forward, pulses racing, as power's counterpunch landed, a turning point erupted, revealing if courage could reclaim the soul of American justice. The crescendo built to a thunderous peak, the moment when the empire of defiance seemed unbreakable, yet in a stunning reversal that gripped the nation, power flipped the script in ways no one fully predicted. Trump's triumphant 2024 victory reshaped the battlefield. Federal charges dropped under long-standing policy shielding a sitting president. Appeals abandoned. By late February 2025, those infamous boxes, now stripped of classified threats, filled with personal items reclaimed, loaded onto Air Force One amid flashes of cameras, returned triumphantly to Mar-a-Lago as symbols of vindication. Jack Smith's damning Volume 2 report on willful retention and obstruction, sealed tighter than ever by Judge Aileen Cannon, her December 2025 order lifting restrictions only to February 24, 2026, opening a window for fresh challenges that could bury it deeper. The evidence of potential crimes lingered in shadows, but public reckoning delayed, perhaps forever. Emboldened by resurgence, vengeance surged. Executive orders in March 2025 targeting elite firms. Perkins Coie first on March 6 for ties to past Democratic causes. Then Jenner and Block, Wilmer Hale, others like Paul Weiss and Sussman Godfrey for representing adversaries, challenging policies, upholding diversity and rights that clashed with the agenda. Clearances revoked, contracts slashed, access barred, retaliation designed to cripple, chill advocacy defending immigrants' paths, proud identities, voices against injustice. For us, the dreamers weaving heritage into America's tapestry, families standing tall amid storms, this felt like an assault on the very system lifting the vulnerable. Social media ignited, hashtags roaring with stories of sacrifice, memes of broken scales mended by courage, communities uniting in outrage and hope. They target lawyers who fight for us, voices echoed, validating every struggle against bigotry's echo. Some firms bent, cutting deals, millions in pro bono aligned to favored causes, survival over principle. But heroes rose. Perkins Coie sued and won permanent injunction in May, Judge Beryl Howell decrying unprecedented attack on justice. Jenner and Block, Wilmer Hale followed. Judges like John Bates, Richard Leon, others striking down orders as unconstitutional retaliation, chilling speech, viewpoint discrimination, harming the legal soul. Suspense script courtrooms. Hearings tense, rulings blistering. 4 times judges quashed attempts, affirming no president punishes counsel for zealous representation. Over 500 firms joined amicus briefs, scholars decrying threat to rule of law. Ripple effects exploded. Pro bono retreats in fear, yet victories mounted, preserving independence for those defending transgender rights, election integrity, immigrant dreams. The turning point crystallized. Old shield cracked under past judicial heat, but new heroism from the bench rebuffed overreach. Arrogance met calm resolve. Judges, unflinching, protecting advocacy, welcoming diverse voices, ensuring dignity over vengeance. Hearts swelled across America. From immigrant enclaves to proud communities, validation surged. This system, imperfect yet resilient, self-courted through courageous guardians. Social waves crashed, celebrities amplifying rulings, commentators hailing smackdowns, memes of handcuffs reversed into open doors. Yet shadows lingered, sealed reports delayed truths, chilling effects on vulnerable defenses. The reckoning deepened. Power's counterstrike tested foundations, but judicial light pierced through, proving truth endures. The nation exhaled in awe's shockwave spread. The aftermath revealed if this clash would heal or harden America's heart for justice. Hawk waves ripped through America like lightning across a stormy sky, the kind that illuminates truths long hidden in shadows. As judicial heroes delivered blow after blow, permanently blocking executive orders against Perkins Coie in May, striking down those targeting Jenner and Block and Wilmer Hale for unconstitutional retaliation, the nation erupted in a digital roar of validation and hope. Social media exploded with fire. Hashtags like #StandWithLawyers and #RuleOfLaw trending nationwide. Memes transforming retaliatory orders into shattered chains of vengeance. Stories pouring in from immigrant families. Proud communities weaving heritage into this land's promise. They targeted the defenders of our dreams, voices rose. But judges said no, dignity wins. Celebrities amplified rulings. Commentators hailed the courage, ripple effects touching every corner where justice fights bigotry's echo. For us, the strivers, the newcomers building futures through sacrifice, this aftermath felt profoundly personal. Firms like Perkins Coie, Jenner and Block, Wilmer Hale sued and prevailed. Judges like Beryl Howell, John Bates, Richard Leon decrying unprecedented attacks, chilling speech, viewpoint discrimination, harming clients' rights to counsel. Over 500 firms joined amicus briefs, scholars warning of threats to independence. Some bent to deals, pro bono twisted to agenda, but fighters won injunctions, preserving advocacy for diversity, rights, immigrant paths. Broader impacts cascaded. Pro bono retreats in fear, yet victories mounted. 4 firms by summer blocking orders rooted in past representations, Mueller ties, challenges to power. Public discourse ignited in 2025. Debates on vengeance versus law. Arrogance meeting calm resolve. Outrage swelled at attempts to silence defenders, but hope surged as courts protected the system, lifting diverse voices. Meanwhile, old shadows lingered. Boxes returned triumphantly to Mar-a-Lago aboard Air Force One in late February. Personal items reclaimed amid vindication claims. Jack Smith's Volume 2 report detailing willful obstruction, sealed under Judge Cannon's orders. Release window pushed to February 2026 with challenges looming, truths delayed but not erased. Power's battlefield shifted. Retribution met resistance, chilling effects on vulnerable causes, yet judicial smackdowns reminded all. No executive punishes protected speech, representation of unpopular clients. Communities united, sharing pride in resilience, validating struggles against overreach, huffereach. The aftermath revealed fractures in fortitude. Some capitulated survival over principle. Others stood tall, rulings affirming founding fathers' vision, independent bar essential to democracy. Ripple effects deepened discourse on America's soul, welcoming dreams, honoring identities, ensuring no one hoards unchecked power. Hearts across the nation swelled with empowered pride. This clash exposed fragility, but heroism endured, proving truth. Dignity triumphed in the end. As shockwaves faded into resolve, the moral lesson crystallized, reminding us justice self-corrects through courageous guardians, uplifting universal values for generations chasing the dream. As the dust settles on this cinematic saga, from viral fantasies of courtroom arrests to the raw reality of cracked shields, dropped charges, and fierce judicial pushback, one truth rises like a sunrise over America's diverse horizon. Justice, though tested, endures through the quiet courage of those who refuse to bow. We watched arrogance hoard secrets, defy subpoenas, believe power could silence opposition forever. We felt the sting when victory returned boxes to Mar-a-Lago aboard Air Force One, when vengeance targeted firms defending the vulnerable. Yet in the heart of the storm, heroic judges, Beryl Howell, John Bates, Richard Leon, and countless others stood unwavering. They pierced privilege when evidence demanded, blocked retaliation as unconstitutional, reminded the nation that no executive order can punish protected speech or chill the advocacy, lifting immigrants, honoring proud identities, safeguarding dreams against bigotry's shadow. This wasn't vengeance winning, it was dignity prevailing. The system, built by generations of strivers arriving with nothing but hope, self-corrected. Injunctions mounted, truths lingered in sealed reports, independence preserved for lawyers defending the voiceless. Some bent yes, but the fighters, backed by courts, proved resilience runs deeper than retribution. For us, the children of immigrants, the communities weaving heritage into this nation's promise, this resolution validates every sacrifice. It whispers, your pride matters. Your voice echoes in courtrooms where calm resolve defeats chaos. The dream endures because guardians on the bench honor universal values, truth over lies, service over entitlement, justice welcoming all. America's soul shines brightest not in triumph alone, but in correction. When overreach threatened, judges rose. When shields cracked under accountability heat, light pierced through. We emerged stronger, reminded that no one stands above the law, that dignity triumphs when we stand together. Let this moral lesson burn bright in our hearts. In the face of arrogance, choose courage. In storms of retaliation, choose truth. Celebrate the heroes, quiet, principled, who hold the line so every family, every identity, every dreamer can chase tomorrow without fear. Justice endures because people like you, like us, believe in it fiercely. Share your story, lift your voice, honor your roots. This nation, imperfect yet resilient, belongs to the dreamers who keep its promise alive. As we close this chapter, hearts full of inspired pride, remember, the fight for dignity never ends, but neither does our power to prevail. We've journeyed through the fire together, from the viral lie of a dramatic courtroom arrest to the deeper, more powerful truth of a legal shield, cracking under relentless judicial courage, charges vanishing in electoral triumph, and then the breathtaking counterstroke of executive vengeance met by heroic judges who refused to let retribution rewrite the rules. This wasn't just Trump's story. It was ours, the story of every immigrant family that crossed borders with nothing but hope, every proud community weaving identity into America's promise, every voice that ever feared power could silence justice. We watched arrogance rise, shields fracture. And then, when victory seemed to crown defiance, we saw calm resolve on the bench strike back harder, blocking unconstitutional orders, preserving the independence that protects the dreamers, the strivers, the diverse hearts beating at this nation's core. The collapse we feared became something greater, a reckoning that proved no one stands above the law, and no retaliation can dim the light of dignity when guardians stand tall. Justice bent, tested but never broke, because people like you believe in it fiercely. Now it's your turn to carry this forward. Hit that subscribe button so you never miss the real stories behind the headlines, the ones that validate your pride, fuel your hope, and remind us why we fight. Turn on notifications. We're cutting through the noise every week with truth that uplifts and empowers. Share this video with someone who needs to feel seen, someone whose family came here chasing the same dream, someone standing proud in their identity. Let them know we are not alone. The system, with all its flaws, still has heroes willing to defend it for all of us. Drop a comment below. Tell us your story, your roots, the moment you felt America's promise shine through the storm. We read every one, and together we build a community that celebrates resilience, demands accountability, and lifts every voice. Thank you for standing with us, for believing dignity triumphs. The fight continues, but so does our unbreakable spirit. See you in the next one. Stay proud, stay strong, and keep dreaming out loud.